Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and it's Tuesday. We had a nice long weekend. Hope you are rested, hope you relaxed. We had 5 challenges last week and we have 4 more this week to total 9 challenges to learn UI and UX design using the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge to do it. What's the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge, you might ask? Well, like I said, 9 challenges all about UI, UX, improving your skills inside of XD. You can find out more about it at behance.net/challenge/XD. Hit that big blue button, scroll down, get your starting files, and then make sure that you also sign up for your Discord chat. That's where we're going to be reviewing work at the end of the day. But for now, let's jump over to that starting file because we are going to get designing. This is, like I said, our sixth challenge. That's right, 6th challenge. Boy, they are flying by. We're having a ton of fun. We got people jumping in the chat like Jennifer Poole, Caitlin, Samantha's in the house, Sam Peterson moderating, Quinn is here. Let me know where you're coming from on this Tuesday, and tell me your favorite. Is it coffee or tea for you today? Coffee or tea? That's what I'd love to find out as you're opening up your starting file. Here in the starting file, our challenge today is going to be to design a mobile experience for booking a table at your new favorite restaurant. And we want users to allow users to select a table and then maybe even get some prompts to order an appetizer once they've reserved a table. Got some inspiration and some resources. You just click on your resource booklet and hit the little the states of your component to find those elements. And then we got some tips and links down at the bottom. And over to the right, a little starting artboard. Here we go. It's got some good stuff on it. Let's dig into what's on our artboard. Got a little bit of typography, and it has these cute little lavender colored chairs that I made for everybody. And it's literally just a series of ellipses with some gentle shading and some little cell shading elements on top of each one with these cute little legs and shadows. Just these fun little chairs. And then we have little tables, and those are all put together. You can see over here in our layers panel 4 chairs and then a table shape all inside, in restaurant language, what we call a 4-top. If we want to create a 2-top or a 2-chair table, we can do that as well. We're going to edit a couple of these, but what we want to do is allow users to be able to navigate around, and I think we're going to use the horizontal and vertical scroll groups so they can kind of scroll around. Maybe we should allow them to filter down between inside and outside. That could be kind of fun. And then we'll create kind of some prompts to book the table. Okay, so that'll be kind of fun. So let's do this. I tell you what, I'm going to make a component out of my chair like that, and then I'm going to use that component. I'm going to get rid of these other 3 chairs. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to take this chair, and it currently has a single state, the default state. I'm going to do one more called inactive using component states. That's going to allow me to come in here, and then I wonder if I could just change the lighting effect here, or the blending mode, to neutralize it. Probably not. So we'll just come in here and neutralize this thing, shall we? We're going to grab the elements. Let's see, like that element right there. Why don't we fill it like with gray? We're gonna fill this thing. It has an ellipse, but we don't want an ellipse. We're just gonna fill it with like maybe a dark gray. And then what else? We had this spot up here, again, gray. And then we should have the top seat area as well. We're just kind of creating a neutralized version of our seat. And then we're gonna need each of our little legs. Our legs need to be gray as well, don't they? Okay, so let's just go gray there as well. All right, something like that. So you have the inactive version of your chair and the active version of your chair. Why don't we take this back to active? I'm gonna move an instance of that. You can see we deleted our master component off of our artboard. We don't need to be messing with the master. We're just gonna have the instances there. But when I do that, it keeps our component over in our components, our document assets for us. Okay, so let's see. Let's just put our new instances of our cute little chairs around our 4 table scenario here. Something like that. Swing these around. All right, cool. Now if we change the chair in one place, it's going to change it everywhere. I like that. That works for me. Let's head back over, and we have our 4-top. Okay. Cool. So I think these might be just space the raw just a little bit. There we go. Now things are even, Steven. I'm gonna bring my 4 top table out here onto the pasteboard. I'm gonna play with it a little bit. Okay, now we could make a nested set of components out of these. Let's do that. We'll just say that every restaurant in this, or every table in this restaurant has 4 chairs to make it really simple for this demo. I'm gonna go ahead and we have the table and we have the 4 top. I'm gonna hit, boom. I'm gonna hit a Command or Control K to make a component out of it. And we have the default state. Let's do inactive table, that state there. We'll take each of these and we're gonna switch the chairs to their inactive states. Okay, now we should be able to turn this entire table to either be active or inactive. Okay, fun like that. All right, now let's just put a couple of different tables. We'll just kind of space these things around. Let's call that one inactive. Let's do another one like that. Spread those about, maybe like that. Okay, maybe there's another table over here. Really simple little dining room, huh? Okay, let's do another one right here. Cool. And then maybe we have a whole outdoor section, right? Maybe the outdoor section is way over here. And maybe, just maybe, yeah, no, let's do that. We'll do like this little outdoor section, okay? So we're gonna just line that up. I'm gonna grab all of these things and group them together, and I'm gonna call it our layout in our layers panel. And I'm gonna move it, you guessed it, right back onto our artboard like this. Okay, so now we should be able to see all the tables that are there, and we wanna move it down below all of like the text and the typography, right? So it doesn't get in the way. Okay, pretty cool. What we want to do now is turn on our scroll group. So we're going to come over here to the right hand panel, and we're not going to turn on horizontal or vertical. We're going to use this guy right here. This is horizontal and vertical. I'm going to turn that one on, and I'm going to select with my little blue pull tabs what area we want to be able to scroll and drag things around in. Okay, maybe we want to just bring it down a little bit and maybe up just a little bit. Okay, what does that mean? That means when we press play and see our preview here, we are able, whoa, let's move this stuff out of the way. We are able to see drag around both directions. This is great for things like maps. This is great for things like table situations and scenarios like this, right? So that works great. Fantastic. And then, okay, cool. And this component, actually, we should have done a toggle here, right? We should have toggled these things so that if you turn it on or tap it, it'll turn it on from active or inactive. That's okay. We can wire this thing back up, right? So we have our master component right here. Let's head over to our prototype mode. And I'm just gonna tap the prototype little wiring dot at the right-hand side. And I'm gonna say on tap, I want you to auto animate over to a new state, and that's going to be our inactive table state. And sure, we could do a little bit of ease in, ease out, doesn't really matter. Simple, easy, just like that. Okay, now once we are done with our default state, we want to come over to our inactive state and wire it up really similarly, heading back to default. Okay, bueno, everything's looking pretty good. Let's take it back, actives on. Now we should be able to turn this thing on and off like that. As I'm clicking in my prototype, I'm turning it on and off just like that. Okay, pretty cool. What would be really fun is for those of you who are watching this and you want to do your own challenge, you want to follow along, or maybe you're watching the Creative Encore, the replay of this, maybe you could have an animation as well, where as you select on a table, it pulls the chairs out for you. I'll leave that to you to play with. That could be really, really fun though. Okay, here we go. Jennifer Poole says you had some fun time to design, huh? I did. I designed these cute little chairs. I'm real proud of them. Okay, so now we're able to scroll around, and what we want to do is we want to say, we'll start this one in its inactive state. Okay, we'll press play, or excuse me, home there, so it always starts our prototype there. Something like that. Okay, for some reason it's starting it off looking a little weird. I don't know why, but okay, let's say we have it like this, right? Anytime we click on it, click on a table, right? We're dragging around. Okay, this looks pretty good. We like this table. I want it to slide up a little dialogue, and we'll slide up a little dialogue that will allow us to kind of schedule time and date, and then how many guests, and then we'll book it. Okay, so let's create a new artboard here. I'm gonna here inside of our design mode. I'm gonna hit A for artboard. I'm gonna drag the same width as our artboard, our previous artboard. I'm gonna drag this down. That's gonna be about the width and the height of my overlay. Okay, so we could do that. We could do this another way. There's lots of ways we could do this, but we're gonna do it this way. Okay, so let's call this our overlay. And why don't we take a rectangle? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see. Take a rectangle. I'm gonna draw this thing in just like so, and holding down the option button, I'm just gonna do a little border radius on the top left hand, and then I'll use the numbers down here in my inspector panel to do the other one. I'm gonna take the border off, and for my fill, I'm gonna go kind of this like dark gray overlay we have of the table. Okay, so that's the dark gray overlay that'll pop up. Why don't we also, I'm gonna hit R for rectangle. Let's draw out a little pull tab, and we'll come in here and just round the corners quite a bit like that. And that could be like a lighter gray. It doesn't have to be white, just a lighter gray. Okay, that works pretty good. So this will be our overlay, and let's wire this up real quick and just see if we have it working the right way. Okay, so with that selected, with our center table selected, I'm gonna hit prototype. And I'm gonna do a new wire that heads over on, but the problem is we can't do on tap, can we? This is gonna be interesting. Okay. What we might do then is we have all of our chairs. I'm gonna do a little invisible layer here. I didn't think this one all the way through. Let's do some problem solving inside of Adobe XD today, shall we? We have our layout. It's all gonna scroll around together. I'm gonna draw a tap trigger on top of this thing. I'm gonna make it invisible, and that's the one that we'll use to wire up over here. Okay, so on tap, auto animate. Let's see, we're gonna auto animate the overlay. Our destination will be overlay, but we don't want to auto animate. We actually want to use the overlay type. Okay, overlay type, and it's going to use the artboard of overlay, and we want to slide up, ease in, ease out. That works. And when you do the overlay, you can move this thing around. We want to slide up to the bottom, just like that. That works out great. Let's see if this is working for us. So we should be able to click, and because we're using that one, this is, yeah, we'd have to work this thing out. We can still scroll around, right? Which is kind of nice, but when we're clicking on it, it is not doing what we want it to do. I'm going to take a different approach then. Well, let's head back. Let's head backwards. Backtrack. Problem solve. Let's go back to design mode, and I'm going to actually let's go back to prototype mode here, and we want the actual table itself. We're going to delete the prototype thing that we did on the table there. So let's just delete the prototype thing that we have there. Let's just do a simple overlay. We know we can make them turn on and off. That's nice. Okay, so that's working all right. Okay, we'll figure that out. So we've tapped on it. It's going to bring our thing up, and maybe we actually won't do the overlay method. Maybe we'll just build an actual overlay. So let's take all these pieces out. Boom. I'm going to get rid of them, and I'm going to group it together like this. We're going to put it on our artboard here in a second. What we might actually do is tuck it at the very bottom like that. That could be kind of fun, and then it'll actually slide up into place on a different artboard. Okay, so let's design that whole thing out right now. Okay, I like our kind of serif font that we have here, so let's take all the typography, move it to the top, and we'll just put that right there. Let's create some little mini buttons on this thing. Okay, I'm gonna drag a little button type out. Maybe we'll hollow them out. I'm gonna round the corners, take the fill off, and then what's our border color? I like that light lavender color. It's rocking, it's working. And let's reuse the same typography from up above. We'll make this also the light lavender, but let's lighten it up. Oh, the opacity's down on it. That's why. Okay, so let's go light lavender again, just like that. Okay, pretty cool. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, and we could say, let's not book a table, but like, what's today's date? Today's date, June 1st, 2021, like that. Why don't we stretch this thing out? And I'm just going to do a quick little, actually, you know what? This will be fun. I'm going to grab both my items, my elements. I'm going to line up, group them together. I'm going to put not padding, but stack on. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in and P for pen tool. I'm gonna make just a little tiny chevron, a little arrow. Okay, we want to soften the tips of this thing. And why don't we make this guy also the lavender? That works for me. Okay, our little arrow, I'm going to bring it inside my group. Good stuff. Yeah, let's bring it inside the group here. Inside this group, like that, okay? So far, so good. I'm actually gonna take this group outside there, boom, like that. And then I turned the padding or the stack, excuse me, on the wrong thing. So let's take our path there. We want to group these two things together, and we want to turn the stacking on right there. Okay, stacking right there, and then that way, look, because we have stack on, we can move these two elements around and kind of realign them how we want. Let's line these things up in the middle, and then we'll, in the outer group here of our button, we're now going to turn padding on. So as we change the size of this, boom, we get these cool dynamic buttons that work always and always. All right, so let's move that there. That'll be for booking like the time, or excuse me, the date, and this will be booking like the time. How about 8 p.m. Boom, and that would be the ability to like change the timing there. That'll be pretty fun. Let's do another piece of text down below. How about how many, yikes, can't spell, guests? That's pretty good. How many guests? And then we'll do a little question mark after it because it's a question. And this should be schedule a visit, like that. How many guests? Let's take the size of this down. I'm gonna grab my little handle at the bottom left-hand corner and just resize because we don't need that to be so gigantic. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna grab this button. I'm going to delete that, and then let's just put a minus inside. Or you know what? Not a minus. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. We're going to make a plus and a minus button out of these things. We already have the stack built. Easy. So now all we have to do is just grab our little chevron that we made and make sure we're messing with, yeah, the little item right there. That was a nice little fix, wasn't it? Same padding on all sides. But in this case, we'll shoot that up to like 22, and that works pretty good. And let's grab our little shape, actually, like our little bubble. Just make sure it's rounded like really, really high. That'll work for us. I think that works all right. Oh, it's really big though, isn't it? Yeah, let's shrink it down. Cool. Shrinking it down. Bringing our shape back there. So far, so good. A little bit messy so far today. But then what we could do is we'll do the plus over here. So let's zoom in. Command C, Command V. Probably have to take the stacking off of this bad boy for a second. And while we fix it, take our path, double click, just like that, and bring that down there. Something like that. Okay, I like it. That's a little plus. That works. That'll work. It's a little bit messy. We're gonna go back in and fix these up. These are the messiest looking buttons I've ever made in my life. These are so ugly. I'm so sorry, everybody. I could do better than this. I really could. But I'm running short on time very, very quickly. So let's just manually recreate them. They look identical, plus and minus, like that. And then you could put the number in between, right? So you could do like four guests. Boop. They are massive buttons, aren't they? Somebody said that in the chat that they're massive. So we could definitely fix those, but we ain't got time. All right, put that right there. And then obviously we want to have like one big button that's actually like a filled in state, like a main call to action at the bottom. Let's scroll this guy down, do a new version of this button, just like that. And let's fill it with our lavender as well. Boom, bring that right over. And I'm gonna copy this text. I'm gonna zoom in and paste that right there. Should we do dark or light? I think probably dark. Shan't we? Shall we? I think probably like a dark text on top of this thing that just says, book a table, like that. And then let's center everything. Whoop, whoop. Group them together and turn padding on. Now we have kind of a reusable button. Okay, that's all right. That's not bad. I don't mind this. group these elements together, group those elements together, move everything up just a little bit, give it a little bit better spacing. And somehow I messed up our little pull tab. So I'm going to come in here to our pull tab and just center that thing up. Use my alignment tools to do that. Okay, pretty fun, pretty cool. I'm going to grab my button and all of my little groups of things here and group them together. Almost grouped them together. Oh my goodness. Okay, how about that group it together? Perfect. Okay, that worked much better. I'm just going to make sure a few things are centered and lined up there. Now what we could do is put the pull tab right there, right? And then what we want to do is drag another artboard over here. Let's, in prototype mode, excuse me, not prototype mode. Let's get rid of this rectangle, this invisible rectangle over it. We don't need that. Okay, so let's set it to active state and then move our little slider up. That works a lot better, doesn't it? I think so. So now what we have to do in prototype mode is grab our table, and we don't want the overlay. We want auto animate on tap over to our second artboard, ease in, ease out. That works all right. And then cool. Then we can just tap anywhere here to lead back. Let's try that prototype out and see how it works. We're able to drag around. We found the table we like. Click that. It goes active mode on us, right? And then we can now come in here and do like all of our selecting, right? And we can go back. So select our table, pops it up, whoop, right back. Easy peasy, just like that, lemon squeezy. Okay, so from here, I don't think we have time, but from here, we would want to then, once we book the table, we'd want to have a series of prompts to take the user through that would allow them to book, you know, some like different hors d'oeuvres. And here's how I would do it. So if you're watching right now and you want to continue on this challenge, or you're watching the Creative Encore, I would create another version of this little overlay thing here that had like, got rid of some of these elements, right? And would say, order an appetizer, okay? And then you could do something really, really fun, like hit E for ellipse and do a bunch of ellipses here that have food in it. Like, and you just space a bunch of these out. Something like that. I would take all the borders off these things. I'd go and find my plugins, find something like Photosplash 2, great plugin to use, and put something like food. I have all of my circles selected, and so it's gonna find a bunch of pictures of food for me, and I would apply all of them, right? Then I'd come in and I would group these together and do like a horizontal scroll group for them so they could scroll through and find one they like. And then once they click, and then, yeah, what are we calling this thing? Oh, I see. We're gonna bring the scrollable area over, okay? And then I would bring this one behind the other, right? Down here, something like this. And so when we do our third artboard and we confirm here, all you'd have to do is slide this one up and slide this one down. Oh, it'd be such a cool interaction. Things would be going up and down, having fun. Ah, it could be really, really cool. So do something like that. I wish I had more time, but I had a little bit of struggle. The struggle was real at the beginning. But hey, with the little time we have left together today, let's jump in and go over to Discord. We can look at some of our submissions from last week's challenges. Actually, first I got a couple on Behance using the hashtag XD Daily Challenge. This was a swipe and select, and this was using the, or doing the challenge of our little vinyl record player finder last week. So let's zoom out a little bit, see if we can see some of this fun animation interaction happening. Right, swiping over. Oh, I love the little shine of the records. Really cool. Listen to this music. I like this one. It kind of just came out and then scaled up. That was a smooth little interaction. Wish I could see it again. Oh man. Let's see it one more time. Can we see it again? Can we? Okay, here we go. Dragging. Beautiful. Back and forth. Click on start listening. Ooh, that was a nice little two-part over, out. I think that was probably multiple artboards. Love that. That was really smooth. Also really like the colors on that. Color palette was beautiful. All right, this is, let's zoom back in, by Annie Yang. This is the music player. Nice colors. Cool, use some of that three-dimensionality. Got a little Ed Sheeran playing on the vinyl. I like it. I'm gonna scroll out and see if we can see this interaction. Okay. Nice. I love the staggering of the songs. It just looks good. Shuffle it up. Oh, did we see the flip? I'm sorry. I screamed really, really loud. That was really exciting. That flip is straight fire. Can we see that again? Oh, mamma mia. That was cool. Let me see. Ready? Shuffle it up. The flip is super legit and awesome. Good use of the 3D transform. That is straight crushing the game. What else do we have out here? Let's look at this one by Crazy 8 Polo. Kind of like a new morphism, like everything's got that cool soft kind of vibe. Doing some scrolling up of the volume. Love it. You can kind of track ahead. This is nice too. New morphism, kind of smancy. Okay. Okay, those are kind of fun interactions. Yeah, this is cool. This is super fun. Love it. Drag gestures. Super fun. Super awesome. All right. That's fun one. Yeah. New morphism. Challenging. Challenging to make it work, but well done, I say to you. Let's do one more. This is by Abernail. I think Abernail's the youngest member of our challenges. And let's see what he's doing. Got that drag gesture on fire. Okay, here we go. It's like some classical music in here today. The button's kind of clean, kind of nice. I'd go full width with the button though, I tell you. But that little record transition thing there is nice. Oh, we even got multiple stages of our playhead moving. This is great prototyping in action. And I tell you, speaking of action, that's all the time we have for action today. Thanks everyone for joining in today's challenge. It's a fun Tuesday. If you're watching the Creative Encore, take this thing to the next level. I want to see your table eating experience. I want to see appetizers, hors d'oeuvres. How many stages? Can we do a full 3-course meal and have them plan it out before they ever get to the table? I'd love to see that in your prototypes. Make sure you submit them inside the Discord and inside Behance using the XD Daily Challenge hashtag. We will see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Stay tuned for more stuff here on Adobe Live. Take care.